Yup.
Okay.
Well, not. Hang on. I gotta.
We need Random to stop eating his fucking.
Now we go.
Every
You
2
don't
seconds.
eat gum.
You put your mouth right over the webcam like you're like. It's just.
I'm trying to look over this laptop to my my desktop.
We ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Shut up. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Girl of Hands, and we've made it to our 3rd episode of the forecast ever. I'm really impressed. And we have 2 new guests for this week. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Not at the same time.
I'm Random Hero.
And I am Cambo.
Yes, you are.
Very.
I like the attire you brought to this forecast.
Yeah, I gotta represent, you know.
I think this will probably be our most highly rated forecast, just because of your presence right there. You're definitely you're bringing the sexy back. Also need to note that Cambo is another member of the EU forum, so appreciate you hopping on. At what time is it over there? 1 a.m. I think you were saying.
Yeah, 1:30 right now. So.
Yeah.
You got a party though.
One of the things I'm super impressed with this podcast is if we could actually get it started on time. I think this is the fastest we've ever had started, so we set some records. But yeah, no, it's definitely taking. It's always taking forever to get started. So let's go ahead and start talking about what we had planned. I had some other things planned, but we kind of had guests switch in and out. So today, the big focus of what we're going to talk about is zombies. A bunch of things about zombies like War Z, DayZ, all that stuff. But before we get into that, I have to bring up the topic of Borderlands 2 and how much fun I'm playing that game and how disappointed I am in Cambo for not picking it up and not playing it. I'm so sad.
Oh, fuck! I just waited for an hour earlier. Come on, mate.
I didn't. I thought you didn't pick it up.
No, he did.
I was not supposed to, but I was lucky enough to be given it to, the EU forum got it for me.
Okay, awesome.
Shout out to
I
them,
can't
I guess.
lie.
That's cool.
So I got to thank all of them. Thank you, bitches.
Awesome. So in that 1 hour, what did you think of the game?
It is fucking awesome. I've been jumping around shooting shotguns in crazy looking things' faces, so yeah, I'm enjoying it.
So everybody here so far is enjoying it. The one person who I think has been kind of on the fence is Stabby, but you said you played it on PC, and your opinion might have changed a little bit on that game.
Yeah. Still not a fan of cell shading at all. I think it looks terrible, to be honest.
When you say terrible, are you saying you just don't like?
I don't like the feel. It doesn't.
Is it too cartoony for you, or
I don't have problems with cartoon games. I played a lot. It just I don't like that art style. I don't know. It's weird.
Is it low quality, or is it just?
I guess it'd be low quality is my point. I've got like 4 of us, like 4 pictures. It's kind of hard to figure out who to talk to. No, like I'm serious. I got like over here. But yeah, I think it's low quality and all that. So
okay.
It's the biggest turnoff. But I will not lie. It has made me laugh some pretty hysterical laughter.
I mean,
hilarious.
the entire time I'm playing that game, I have a smile on my face, and that's like I can't say that about a lot of the other games I'm playing right now. Like that's one of the few games that I actually like really enjoy from start to finish. There's plenty of other games, either they can be like rage-inducing, or they're frustrating, or they get boring at times. But from start to finish, I'm not done yet. But every moment I've had playing that game, there's always something that pops up that's hilarious. Like there's all these pop culture references throughout the game. Random and I ran into it, one of them last night. We had to do the sewer mission. This is a spoiler if you haven't gotten this far, so you might want to.
Here, hold the
Close
finger
yours.
up or whatever. Mute it until the spoiler goes down.
Yeah, I'll put my finger down when the spoiler goes down. I actually look like an idiot, but whatever. Random and I.
We're number one.
Number one. Random and I went to the sewers. I'm not doing that.
Come on, just do it. So that way, okay.
You don't hold your finger.
Just
I guess the entire time
when it goes
I-
down,
so-
when it goes down. Here,
Is
I'll
that
hold
our-
it up. I'll hold it up.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
so just tell me when my finger goes down, when it goes away, it's over with the spoilers. Just let me know when, so I don't hold it up for fucking an hour.
It's
Okay.
it's not that big a deal. Random and I went to sewers, and they had a bunch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle references. We fought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, basically, and I thought that was
Wait, you fought the turtle?
not the actual turtles. Like they were like
not like
they were
turtles.
turtles, but it was dudes. They were-
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that is brilliant. That is fucking
Oh,
brilliant.
it's awesome.
There's been references to Resident Evil 4 that like one of the
Wow.
what
Way to
one of
ruin
the
it for me.
achievements is what are you buying, what are you selling, or something like that. They have references to Top
Oh,
Gun,
that's a good one. Minecraft.
Minecraft. There's a Minecraft achievement. So I mean, they have all these different pop culture references. Besides, on top of the fact, there's the general humor of the game. So I absolutely love it. I like the fact that they've expanded upon the skill tree because that was one of my bigger complaints with the original game. I liked it, but it just didn't feel all that varied, and it didn't feel like it was a big part of the game. Here it's a little bit more structured. I actually made it a point to build the skill tree before I even started playing, and it's a lot of fun. So I recommend it. It's one of the few games I'm having a ton of fun with. But I don't know. What do you think, Random?
I love it. Like you said, every time we're playing, we're giggling because so much crazy, stupid shit happens.
Gameplay is fun. Like you get these. One of the weapons I have they talk to me while I'm playing. Like it actually like it mocks me and it says like you suck and why are you reloading and why. That's
I
one.
have a shield that's the same.
Yeah, like it's like this. It's just these little small things that add to the overall feel. So I mean, I absolutely love that game. I recommend it. I wouldn't recommend picking it up if you had nobody to play with. If you're all alone, then I'm sorry.
Like me. Forever
Yeah.
alone.
Forever alone.
Well, I have it on. Well, my brother, I bought it for his birthday, and I was going. You know, after I played it on the PC for a little bit, I was like, hey, I might buy this on console. But the problem is you two aren't going to start over or wait for me.
You can re-roll a new character.
Yeah, but what are the odds of you like actually, you know, like okay, so I'm not gonna want to hold you up, and then you guys aren't gonna want to have to start over, especially when you like get towards the later levels. You're not gonna want to re-roll. Well, random might, but you won't.
Well, I mean, it doesn't take too long to get to where. Well, yeah, kind of. How many hours do you think we played random? Like a lot. We played like
50.
A lot. It doesn't
I have like
much because it's so fucking fun.
I have over 10 hours and just one character, and I have 2 that are up there.
Yeah, so it's Wiggy's Wiggy's
Yeah,
text.
he tweeted me saying he's on his way, but we've already started Wiggy. God damn it!
Thank you, Wiggy.
I forgot he doesn't get home until
Seriously, why are
6:30.
you so late, Wiggs?
He doesn't get home until 6:30.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So he's got to actually like gun it to get in here. Okay. But yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I can't wait to see what else is within the game because what's the max level? 50? And I think we're what?
Yeah, it's 50.
I just hit level
It's
7.
50 up until the DLC comes out. And I can't wait because the first game's DLC was amazing.
So
Except for one.
it's one of the few games that I think is actually like really high quality. There's plenty of other games out there that are really that are good, but they don't. I'm just enjoying it from start to finish. So I mean, Cambo, you said you're going to keep playing it.
Oh, definitely. The EU forum people are playing it, so
Did you play the first one?
I did not. I always meant to pick it up, but I never got so far.
That's around the time Modern Warfare 2 came out, so that might be.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
That's
We were all hypnotized by the shittiness that was like.
I had
remember-
so many fucking days played in that. It's unreal, like 30 something days.
Shit out of Borderlands 2, and then the second Modern Warfare 2 came out, I never touched that game again. I touched it like maybe a year later and played it for about a day, and it sucks because that game's actually really good too. But Modern Warfare 2 just that's the only game I really played for a while. Yeah, no, that's like I said. If you guys are looking for a good game, I would definitely recommend going and picking up Borderlands 2. I'm having a lot of fun. I can see my replaying other characters. So that anything you want to comment?
Yeah.
Other than that,
So the one thing that Stabby was saying about the whole way that it looks, just the look of it, I think that Borderlands would not be the same if it went for that sort of cartoony look.
Because take for instance, what is it? Rage. Rage is a perfect equivalent of that game. It's the same visual style, but just done, or I guess the same.
I haven't played Rage, so
Themes, but you've seen the visuals though, right? For Rage,
only like 10
They're
seconds.
more realistic.
it's
Like
the same exact thing, but okay, Cambo's.
Cambo, I'm going to get rid of your camera in a second.
So it's the same visual style. Well, not the same visual style, but they borrow. They're very similar to one another. But that one, obviously, Rage is a lot more realistic, and it wouldn't feel the same. It'd feel like it would feel like the only way it would work if it was like dark comedy or dark humor. But that's Borderlands 2 has that, but it also has a lot of like pop culture things that are funny and just tongue-in-cheek stuff. And like, what was it? What was the chick that we ran into? The Tiny Tina or whatever her name?
Tiny Tina. Oh my god, amazing
I'm not gonna
mission.
spoil anything with her, but like that, like the quest line that involves her, like the shit you have to do with her is just absolutely hilarious. So you
Love it.
pull that off with Rage. It just wouldn't work. So I don't mind. I think of all the cell shading games, I think Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 do the best job of executing it because they have a lot of detail. A lot of problems I've noticed with cell shading, if they don't do a really good job texturing, it just looks very plain and bland. But here, I mean, you can go right up on different character models, and they have very minute details in there. So I mean, they put a lot of care and a lot of work into this art design. So I really like it. And like Random said, the comedy just wouldn't really work.
My favorite line.
Yeah,
my
that's
favorite
what makes
line.
it.
I mean, granted, I've only made it in like the first couple quests. I've killed the first main boss. I guess I'm not gonna
Boom
give
Boom?
spoilers. No, yeah, no, after Boom Boom, and it was the shit. It was Handsome Jack.
Flynn.
No, it was the audio logs. You had to find the audio logs or whatever. And then he said,
Oh, right.
"Please tell me why your face looks like you headbutted a belt sander." And I, for whatever reason, I just busted out laughing. Like, I could not stop laughing at that joke.
That's the entire game. Like
Yeah.
that's shit. Like
It's
and
funny.
there's
That's-
side quests and logs that you can pick up the entire time that are gonna play like that. So I personally like Claptrap's parody of dubstep.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh, it's awesome.
He-
He also beatboxes and shit.
Yes, so yeah, it's a really good game. So I mean, so what is I think the biggest thing that's switched your opinion? Because you said you didn't like Borderlands at all. What, since the visual style didn't change, what do you think?
I guess the thought of playing it with other people. I guess I don't know. The comedy seems a little bit better in this one. I did like
They
Ned's.
picked it up. They picked it up a lot more. I think they definitely piled on a lot more comedy, a lot more pop cultural
'Cause
references.
The first one, the only thing I really liked about it was Claptrap. I just kind of thought he was a little witty.
Yeah.
And Ned's DLC, the Zombie Island of Dr. Ned or what?
Oh,
Dead
Dr. Zed.
Dr. Zed, whatever it was.
yeah.
Oh
No, he changes his name or he fucking brother or something. I don't know what happened.
But yeah, that DLC is the only DLC I played co-op, and I had the most fun with it. It was ridiculously fun. But the rest of the game was really boring for me.
Well,
but
yeah, you got to play. Yeah, if you play with a group, it's,
maybe that's what I was missing.
Yes.
But
It makes it because everything becomes tougher. And
yes, and your skills
Everything
work
hits the
together.
fan.
Like the Random and I are playing together. I'm the siren. He's the assassin. So my ability is I can suspend people in air and freeze them in there. And Random's ability is he can turn invisible and he can do critical damage with a sniper rifle. So it works perfect together because I can suspend somebody and he can get headshots. So like and all the abilities can kind of work together, and your skill trees can help. You can either like, can help one another. I don't know what Cambo's doing. What?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I just cracked up by Wiggy on the fucking chat.
What is Wiggy saying?
Oh, my chat's completely frozen, so I can't even see it.
I'll go ahead and read what he says. Bernie said Random and I play together.
Oh,
That's
there
what
it
he
is.
said.
It's not really even funny.
No, you're better than that, Wiggy. You're much better than that.
Yeah, like my chat froze like way up there, so I haven't seen anything in forever.
Twitch TV's chat sometimes is.
Well,
really
it was my browser. It flipped back, so it's good.
Oh. So yeah, no. I mean, playing co-op I think is a really big deal, and it makes it that much more fun.
Mhm.
So anything else to talk about that game? If you don't know what Borderlands is about, it's an RPG shooter and it's loot driven. I've never seen the same gun twice. There's a different gun. There's different varieties of guns. When they say it's a gazillion guns, I mean
They mean it.
Yeah, they really do mean it. So it's a loot based game. I guess it's kind of like Diablo. I mean, the same concept where loot drives everything. But personally, Diablo for me, the biggest incentive was the loot. It wasn't the story at all. I did not care about Diablo 3's story whatsoever. In this game, I'm enjoying the story and I'm enjoying everything around it, and I'm just enjoying progressing. Diablo felt more like a grind. Here, the loot is just a super bonus on top of an already good game. So
Search everything.
yeah,
I love that about it.
if you play with us, you got to grab your shit quickly, or Random's gonna.
it's the I don't know.
Yeah,
I love RPG games just like that. You gotta search everything.
Yeah.
Fallout,
The loot
Oblivion,
in
Skyrim.
Diablo 3 though, in Diablo 3, everybody saw their own loot, so you didn't have to worry about somebody ransacking your shit. But in this, whatever loot's on the ground, everybody can see it. So you better pick it up quick, or random's gonna take that shit. So
even if he doesn't need it, like
yeah,
he's walking around with a
I
submachine
can
gun, he's
sell it.
picking up sniper rifles and shit.
We were playing with the group last night, playing with a big old donkey, and he was talking to me about it today. He's like, he would look at it, he would kind of think, well, do I really need this? And right as he's thinking that, random come out like a fucking vacuum, pick it up and run away. It's like, well, I guess
Well,
I don't need
he
it.
clearly didn't need it. I mean, it was standing there for a whole 5 seconds.
So yeah, there's our little rant or discussion about Borderlands 2. Pick it up; it's an amazing fucking game.
It's alright.
Yeah, shut up. We're gonna kick you.
Hey,
Yeah,
that was before from last podcast when I was like, no way in hell am I playing that game. To now, I might pick it up, but I need a group to play with. The only person I play with is Prowler because I could catch up and pass his ass anytime, unless he's playing now.
Oh.
Yeah. So the next thing that I kind of want to talk about, I heard this on IGN, I think a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. I heard that the Resident Evil 6 demo sucked. I didn't play the last Resident Evil game I played was Resident Evil 4, and then I played for maybe a day. I rented it. What was it? Resident Evil Revelations or
No, Operation
Raccoon City.
whatever. Yeah, Raccoon City. I did not like that game at all. But the last true like campaign Resident Evil I played was Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 5 I heard got really bad reviews. I didn't like the way the game looked. And now I'm hearing from IGN that Resident Evil 6 the demo sucks, and now Cambo is kind of backing that up. So you mind?
Cambo, you want to duke it out? Want to duke it out, Cambo?
It was really
different.
bad.
But yeah, Cambo, tell me your thoughts on the Resident Evil 6 demo.
Oh, I've always liked the Resident Evil games. Well, I played the first 2 or 3 games and I really liked them. But then I dropped out, so when I saw the 6th one coming out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick this up. So downloaded the demo, and well, it just sucks. It feels clunky, and it feels like every little thing you do feels like something that's scripted, or you know it's gonna happen before it happens. You don't get pulled into the story. You just do the stuff you see on the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go back in.
Did you play the entire? Because Stabby was telling me the demo has 3 different characters you can play as. Did you play as all 3, or who did you play?
I played all of them.
And what was there anyone that was at least slightly better? Or was it all pretty mediocre or bad?
The one that was I can't remember which one. I think it's Chris, the military one.
Redfield.
Yeah. That has a point where there's a huge fucking troll monster thingy. And that kind of scared the crap out of me. I was like jumping in my couch, but apart from that, nothing really creeped me out.
Is that how you lost your shirt?
Yes. You ate it. It was my foreign boy shirt too. No, I did not like it at all.
Stabby, you played it. You only played one of the characters, but you have a different opinion.
Yeah, I have a much different opinion. He actually, I did a Let's Play, and you guys haven't seen it yet. But next week on the forum, I'll put it up, and I'm gonna give a little spoilers, I guess, for this. He is right on predictability, because there's a point where I kicked a can, and I go, oh shit, I just woke that dude up, and immediately, like, it sounds like my audio is off sync of what's happening in the game because I said it like 20 seconds before he did, like, the zombie stood up, and I was like, okay, well, that, that just happened. But there are times that, like, I feel like Capcom took something from Valve, and I don't want to go into too much detail, but you'll have to watch the second part, and it actually makes me, like, freak out in the video. More like excitement freak out, not scary. I don't think any of the video actually ever scared me, but the game definitely changed from survival horror to action horror. It's like I even say this is like a bad acting movie, very much a bad acting movie.
Very much like the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, very much like the Resident Evil movies. The zombie, it appears that there's zombies again, and not like.
I was just about to ask that. Are they going back to the zombies, or what is it, the Las Plagas? What was
yeah,
it? What they were?
Yeah,
4,
something like that. Well, that was in 4,
6
and then
people?
Ouroboros was 5.
Okay.
But it was basically the same concept. But this one, it's like they're zombies, but when they die, or like you shoot their head off or whatever, they like disappear. They like disintegrate. It's weird. But
Well, that's what they did in the previous.
But they like eat people. Like that's the thing. In 5, they didn't eat people. Well, I mean, I guess they kind of like their fucking mouth came out of their face and ate you. But like you actually like, there's a cutscene at the very beginning where he's literally munching on this dude's face, and you're just like, oh, their zombies are back. Like, oh, they're back. And then like they disintegrate into a liquidy state, and you're just like, what the fuck? But it is very scripted. He's right. The acting is kind of bad. The graphics I liked. I like those. They're pretty cool. I'm trying not to like give too much away for those who haven't played it, because I kind of want people to play it for themselves and not just base their opinion off mine and Cambo's.
Here, I'll ask you this: which are you a bigger fan of? Are you a fan of old school Resident Evil, like 1 and 2, or Resident Evil 4? Which one did you prefer?
1 and 2 are better than any of the newer ones.
Yeah,
but
so
I do like 4 and 5, and probably will like 6.
So I never played 5, but I heard 5 was not very good.
I don't know what the problem with 5 was. I had no problems playing it. I beat it like 3 times. So, and for me to play a game over is very, very, very rare. So I liked it. Maybe I'm just a huge fanboy and don't know it.
I think you are.
We all know.
The one thing I know that kind of turned me off about Resident Evil 5 is I heard it was very action oriented. And I grew up playing the original Resident Evils. I even played a little bit of Resident Evil. The horrible multiplayer game, not the new one that came out, the one that came out on PlayStation 2, where you basically, it was running on the same Resident Evil 2 engine, and you had 3.
No, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
It was like raccoons. I'll pull it up in a second. But it was
Outbreak?
It was. Yes, that was it. They made 2 of them. It was horrible because nobody back then had a mic on PlayStation 2. You had to use these horrible like dialogues. So you'd sit there like, medicine here, herbs here, need some ammo. Yeah, it'd be like you know how Left 4 Dead people say stuff, but that's it. That's the only way you can communicate with your teammates, and you're doing it with the Resident Evil controls, and it was horrible because Resident Evil doesn't have the rendered backgrounds. It uses those pre-rendered images in the background. So that. Yeah, but I preferred that though because you always felt helpless playing those games. Like if you picked up a magazine, like you could use that very rarely and then only in dire situations. Like it felt like a survival horror game. Resident Evil, I know the series needed to make a change, and I think Resident Evil 4 is a perfect example of revitalizing a series and making a necessary change to keep people interested and not repeating the same stuff. But even in that game, there was times where you were low on ammo, where you felt like you were somewhat helpless. But if I'm wrong, let me know. But I heard Resident Evil 5 kind of ramped it up, so you didn't feel as helpless.
It's an action movie. Resident Evil 5 is an action movie.
I'm not a big fan of that. And the other thing is, it's possible to make a good balance between survival and action because Dead Space.
Yes, very much.
1 and 2 are Is somebody clicking?
No.
I keep hearing clicking in the background. Dead Space 1 and 2 are perfect examples of a survival game that still has a lot of action. It has pre-scripted situations where like quick time events and stuff like that. But that game is one of the few games that actually scares me. I mean, I'm only doing Dead Space 2 as a Let's Play. I'm sure I'll finish it eventually. But when I played Dead Space 1, man, I was playing that shit, and that game was freaking the hell out of me. Like when there's a scene where you're going down the elevator, and this girl started singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And it might sound stupid, but when it's like 2 a.m. in the morning, it's pitch black, and you just hear this creepy little nursery rhyme, and there's dead bodies everywhere, it freaks you the hell out. And you're not like this. You're an engineer. You're not like this action hero, so you're not able to take out all these bad guys real effectively. So I don't like the direction they're going with this game based on its roots. They can't turn around and say, hey, it's not possible to make a scary action game because Dead Space is a game that can do it. So I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to Resident Evil 6. I'll try the demo. But the stuff that Cambo was saying, like the pre-scripted situations, everything seems. The biggest thing is the atmosphere. If you don't feel like you're getting pulled in, that was the big thing about Resident Evil. Like, I mean, you were scared shitless playing those games. Like, you didn't know what the hell was going to be around the next corner. One of the things, part of the Resident Evil to kind of, I guess, combat loading screens was you would open the door going into the next room, and every so often there'd be a zombie waiting for you as you're opening the door. So you could never, like, relax at any point in time. But now it seems like they're going in a completely different direction. I'm glad to hear that they're bringing zombies back, because whatever the fuck the Los Plagas to the Orbo, what are they called?
It's an it's the whatever
hey
parasitic thing. It's funny though that when you were talking about in the beginning, you were talking about like the ammo consumption. Mm-hmm. I was literally burning through ammo, and it's funny because all the stuff you talked about, I said like almost verbatim in my Let's Play, and it was like I'm like running. There's with Leon, you can run around with 2 guns at the same time. You can just like just fire them. I mean, the trade off is you use more ammo, but you kill things quicker.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm just blowing through ammo because like I'm just finding ammo everywhere. It's like
This is on Leon's because Soupy Greg's saying play Leon's first.
He's saying, what is he saying about? I mean, playing it first.
He's saying play that one first. He says that's who.
Well, I started Chris's, and he starts off with a submachine gun or a machine gun that has 500 fucking rounds.
Yeah, that.
So unless you don't get ammo on him, you're good.
That's the other thing that kind of bothers me with I don't know how closely you guys are following Dead Space. I love that game. That's actually one of my favorite survival horror games like of all time. I actually like it more than Resident Evil. Because I think they struck a perfect balance between survival and action. But I'm seeing a lot of shit that they're doing with Dead Space 3, and it's like it's an action game. Like I was watching a lot of clips and the co-op stuff. A lot of people were really upset to hear about co-op because it's supposed to be scary, and if you bringing one person in to a survival horror game just lessens that because you've got somebody else who can help you. And they were showing it off, and like the character's like a fucking action commando now. He's got like a machine gun and he's taking shit out. And I really was not happy with what I've seen with Dead Space 3. I'm going to still probably pick it up. I'm going to wait a little longer before I make my final decision. But I feel like even that franchise is going that direction. And I understand the necessity for change. I understand that fans will get tired of the same old formula, and you need to shake things up. The problem is I feel like at least based on what I've seen, at their core, they're changing it. Like the core of the game is to scare the shit out of you. And I feel like they're not doing that with this. Like this guy was, Isaac was fighting like these giant fucking monsters, and it was like it looked more like a Halo scene than it did. Because in like Dead Space, if you fought a big ass monster, I was like, fuck, I don't have enough ammo for this. I'm gonna die. I'm sitting there thinking the entire time, I'm gonna die. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm scared. In that game, it was like he was just running around. I think he's got like he's got this roll ability, and he's fucking like a fucking commando in that bitch. And it's just I don't know. Resident Evil 6, that game kind of looked like that as well from all the promos I've seen, and now I'm seeing Dead Space 3 do that. I wasn't really crazy about what is it called, the co-op, and after seeing how the game plays, I'm also not super excited about the changes. So we'll wait and see. But I think that's one of the bigger problems with franchises is when they try to shake it up and they don't stick to their fundamentals.
They want to milk every fucking dollar out of it.
That's the other thing too. That's the other thing is it's one of the things that always bothers me with. I actually did a commentary about it a while back. Is when something's really good, and they just don't.
Just fucking leave it. Just leave it.
Yeah, and then fans will get really upset about it. But you know what? I would much rather it ends at least have some.
It ends on a high note.
But end on a high note than have it just die. Like the best example I can think of is Weeds. That was a show that was based off of 3 seasons. I think the director or the writer, whoever, the creative team behind that, I think what they had in mind was a 3-season story arc. But the show was extremely successful, so they carried it beyond that. And you can tell, and then the show just went to shit. The season just ended, I think, last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago. But it was an amazing show that just went to shit because they just kept dragging it on and on and on. And they're doing that with game franchises. I think they probably could have ended it. Like Resident Evil, they can't though. They never will. But I wish they would end the franchise. Or maybe not end it, but just try going back to what got it so popular. Go back to what it used to be. Or I don't know. It's just But like Cambo said, they just try to milk out everything.
Money, 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 money.
Well, I mean, you're saying that you wouldn't milk it and you'd want it to end on a high note, and I could say the same thing, but some money changes people, man. Like, you start rolling in those nice figures, and you're just like, well, I could get a little bit more, and my thing isn't that great.
No, but you know what? An example that I think is a good one is, and this isn't a video game, but this is a TV show, is Breaking Bad. That show is amazing.
Oh, that isn't amazing.
It's a good show. 4. It's a good show, and they're ending it at season 5.
Okay, so I've only got one to go.
So it's done at season 5. That show is one of the most highly rated, most critically acclaimed TV shows out right now in America. It's just a huge following, but they're not going beyond season 5, and they could make, if they continued on to like season 10. I'm sure they could, and they would lose views, but it would still make millions of dollars over the course of 5 more seasons. But they're ending it where they feel it needs to end.
That's what I felt about season 4, because I mean, don't spoil it for me, and don't spoil it for anybody else who hasn't seen it yet. But like at the end of season 4, think back to it. It could have ended right there.
It could.
I literally, when I haven't seen season, I haven't seen a single second of it. I have no idea where they're gonna go from it. Like I'm just like, well, because I think the last words he says, to his wife, is that I've won. It's over, and that's all he says.
Thanks, bro.
Well,
thanks
I mean, okay, so what's over? You don't know. You don't know what's over.
The season's over.
Yeah, the season. That's what he
over.
says. He's like, the season's over. We won.
Season's over. Wait till the next one.
Okay.
I cannot imagine how they go.
I kind of had that opinion too. Like I thought they could have added like maybe 4 more episodes or 3 more episodes to tie everything up. But if you think about the point that he was in the TV show, there's a lot of shit left handled, and they do a good job of tying all that stuff up.
Okay.
Hey.
Resident Evil dogs.
So
That dog is fucking scary.
yeah. Hey, Scout.
It's gonna just
Maggie.
jump. I'm like,
The thing is, they never do this when I don't. Like the entire time before the podcast.
bullshit.
No, did you hear
They didn't know they were there.
them fighting before?
They didn't know they were there until they showed up.
Hey, Scout, watch that. So yeah, I'll try the demo. I think Subi said try Leon, but I'm
I
not
liked
super-
his. I was like, at the end of it, I was like, come on, I want to know what the fuck she was trying to say at the end. Like, Cambo knows what I'm talking about. Like, there's a message, and you kind of want to know what it is. At least I do. I don't know if Cambo doesn't, but I do. I want to know what the fuck was
I'd like
going
to know
on.
what she says, but I probably wouldn't really care afterwards.
Oh, whatever.
Yes, I have a Siberian Husky.
Yeah.
All right, so now we want to bring the focus of what we really want to talk about. I don't know how much Cambo can contribute to this, but there's been a huge interest in zombies.
That is his contribution right there. Just
Yes.
him.
It's sex. He didn't have to say anything. Just
Sex sells.
yes.
Just
We've
sit there and look pretty.
so we realize we're not getting enough views on the forecast. We're not.
Oh
so
my God.
The marketing.
We need a sex symbol. We need to bring in views. We need that YouTube money.
YouTube money.
So Cambo
Sex Viking sells, man.
sexual Vikings. We pulled it. We heard sexual Vikings get the most attention on YouTube. So that's the direction we're going. Wiki's saying he's the sex symbol.
You know what? Wiggy did have his shirt off last week.
He didn't do it on the podcast though.
Well, that's
so.
true, but he did have it off before.
Wiggy, we found somebody who would do it on camera. That's all.
No, we're not pulling out the red rocket. Put that thing back. Oh my God.
I don't know what camera.
He's doing the. I don't even want to get into it.
Anyways,
Gangnam Style.
I watch that shit like 5 times a day.
Why
it's an
is
addiction.
that so?
Why isn't it so popular?
That
It's
video's
just.
hilarious. Have you not seen
It's a
it?
catchy beat.
I've seen it. And
It's a catchy beat. I
it's
can
hilarious.
almost recite it, and I don't know a damn word. Well, I do know a lot in Korean actually.
And I hate hip hop and K-pop and all that shit, but I love that song just because of the video. It
I
makes
have it
it
on my
fun as
iPod
well.
or my iPhone. Like I'm addicted to that song.
It doesn't have like close to 300 million views.
It's like 220 something, but close.
That's ridiculous. Okay, well, I have no, I don't understand how society works apparently. So, anyways, back to the topic I wanted to talk about before we got into sex symbols. Zombies have been kind of like this big, I guess.
They're coming around again.
Again, I mean,
Resident Evil,
big.
Resident Evil came, like that was a huge thing.
I mean, no, I mean the original Resident Evil.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, and then
Yeah,
they kind of died off.
I'm talking about in general, society in general. I mean, we got the Walking Dead TV show and the comic book. There's a Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, it was Dawn of the Dead. That came out like 6 years ago. But I mean, that was still a pretty big budget zombie movie. There's a ton of zombie video games. Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty has all the Treyarch. I'm sorry, Treyarch has all those different zombie games. They've got War Z coming out now. They have DayZ. I've seen a bunch of like little indie games that have zombies as the focus. Dead Nation, yeah, good call. What was it? There was the Friendly Zombie. I forgot what the hell
Plants
it was
vs Zombies. I mean, you have fucking plants versus fucking zombies. Like
zombies is just this fucking huge. I kind of feel it's getting a little much. Of all the I will say, of all the different like classic horror figures, like the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, zombies have always been my favorite. Like they're definitely not the they're not the flash. Yes, Scout. There's Scout's favorite as well. They're definitely not the flashiest of all the like the monsters. Like Dracula, he has a sex appeal and he can turn into a bat and shit like that. And Wolfman's like a super powerful werewolf. But zombies, the thing about zombies is, one, if you're caught by a zombie, those are people eating you alive. Like that seems like a horrible way to die, by being eaten by people. Like people aren't meant, your teeth. Like you don't have razor sharp teeth. So being eaten alive by another person, that sounds horrible. And it's just, it makes, for me personally, makes for more interesting stories, because a lot of times they focus on how people interact in a post-apocalyptic situation. It's not just the zombies that you have to worry about, but you have to worry about other people as well. So for me, those always make for much more interesting stories. That's why they're my favorite kind of horror genre thing. I
think what it is the fact that out of all those classic supernatural things, zombies is the closest one to humans to what could actually happen. Yeah. They are humans themselves, they were.
Yeah, well, it's the humans themselves, and the situations that it creates, I think, are fairly interesting. Even from the beginning, even from George Romero's original film, like the stories that it brings about, and the situations that it creates. Now, there have been a lot of really dumb zombie movies. Like I think there's like Zombie Strippers. There's like a million like rednecks.
Zombie strippers.
Yeah, it's got like
close the podcast.
Jenna Jameson's in it, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There was another one, and there's a lot of like zombie style videos. Like what was it? I can't remember. It was
Cambo.
The Pulp Fiction director. I can't remember his name to save my life. The Planet Terror, I think, is what it was called.
I saw that movie. Yeah.
Like that was a zombie style thing. But yeah. I don't know. I mean, in general, do you think that genre's starting to get a little played out? Do you think you're tired? No, you don't think so?
I don't think I'll ever be tired of the whole zombies idea. I
think they're all different.
Exactly. It's never gonna be the same. Never gonna get like played out. I don't think it will get played
Explain
out.
What do you think is different? Like because there's a lot of games that seem to run fairly similar.
Well, I mean, like. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Run, shoot zombies.
Well, I mean, like,
die. Yay, great game.
It's all based around survival. Like, I mean, if you had to clump it all into like one giant bracket, it's like you got to survive. Like, but each game that you play is different. Like, you play it for different reasons. Like, I don't know, DayZ, you play it to survive. See if you can survive not only with zombies, because they're pretty much like non-existent in the game, but with other players, and it's more like real life choices and seeing if you could survive. And then there are like scripted things like Resident Evil and things like that.
I will say, of all the zombie games out there, I think DayZ's probably one of the better ones of hitting home with like true like how it feels to be in a zombie apocalypse. I think it's the game that I'm playing the most right now. I think except for Borderlands 2, but I think it does the best job of creating that type of a zombie apocalypse. Like there's a lot of other zombie games, like World at War and Black Ops. I would play the new zombie maps maybe once or twice, and that's it. I know there's people out there that play it all the time. They try to get new high scores. For me, the experience of it just gets very repetitive and it gets really boring. So I didn't really like that game.
The way that zombie games are is that there's, I don't know, I would generalize into two types. Those zombie games in which you actually win, the game ends, and those are just survival. You're never going to win anything, but you're trying to see how long you can survive.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the difference between that is what keeps me going on zombie games.
Max bringing up something. He says the lead programmer at World at War is developing State of Decay. I've seen, there's one, it looks like a free roam zombie game that I think I've seen it before, and it looks really interesting, but I don't know how interesting it would be for me for single player. I don't know how much fun I'd have, especially after playing DayZ. Tsubi brings up Dead Island. Dead Island, for me, I couldn't finish that game. And the other problem I had... I think I'm kind of the minority in that. But one of the things that I didn't like about Dead Island was originally it had much broader aspirations. Like originally, I think it was only supposed to be meant for PC, and the zombie models were very, very intricate. Like if you hit them, they were layered. So if you hit them in the face, a little bit of their skin would chunk off, and then if you kept hitting them, you'd see muscle, and then you'd see skull. That was a big selling point. It was a very grotesque way to take out zombies. But that was back in like 2008 or 2006 maybe. And then the program, you never heard anything about the game for 3 or 4 years, and then it came out again. They put out that launch trailer that was awesome. I think that was one of the best trailers for a game I've seen ever, even though there's no gameplay. But it was a great way to get a lot of attention. And then the game came out, and one of my biggest problems with that game was that it didn't really match the trailer. Like that trailer was supposed to be emotional. It was, it was like this family. You go on a vacation. This family's torn apart by zombies. There was no emotional level in that game at all. I can't think.
That was a big transition. Yeah.
But it was just kill zombies.
The big transition from showing the horror that family was going through in that trailer to the actual game, in where you're hacking and slashing through zombies to get places.
It wasn't the same, and that was a little bit of a disappointment for me. I mean, I like the concept of being able to create new weapons and stuff, but it just it felt like it wasn't fully polished, and it just didn't feel as crisp as I'd like it to.
It's that other game in the mall with zombies.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Same thing that you felt with Dead Island, I felt with Dead Rising.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I have with, a lot of games now is that, and Cambo touched on it earlier with the Resident Evil 6 thing, is it's not atmospheric. Like you're not pulled in with a lot of games, and I think
a little arcade game is what you feel like you're playing.
Yeah, like
something that's gonna end and you don't care.
Yeah, I think of all the genres, I think zombies, that type of thing. I don't know how many people are fans of the Walking Dead series.
Huge fan.
But the especially the comic book is absolutely fucking amazing. If you like the TV show, then go read the comic book, because that's a million times better than the TV show. But I mean it focuses on like human elements and the story elements, and it really draws you in. I don't know of many zombie games that do that create that horror, that create kind of an emotional kind of. I see random smiling in the background. There's just something.
Right. They're just talking about Cambo.
What is
fucking Cambo?
He's very popular in the chat right now.
It's the hat. It's the hat.
He is the sex symbol.
I think it's nipples. Come on, man.
Oh God. You guys should have seen Bernie's face when he fucking found out his camera wasn't on and then turned it on. You should have seen Bernie's face. He had his headset off, so he was like this.
There was an epic moment.
But it was like frozen. It was weird.
He just stared at him for a couple minutes.
It was just, I was admiring the awesomeness that is Cambo's pecs, if you want to call them pecs. So Cambo, I know we brought you.
Oh my God! Don't do that.
I know we brought you over for the sex appeal, but what's your general opinion of zombie games in general? Is there anything you like with that, or?
Well, no.
There's no zombie games.
Well, apart from Resident Evil, the first couple of games, I've never really found a zombie game that I really liked.
Okay.
I've been too lost in the Call of Duty and Gears of War universe, so that might be why.
Call of motherfucking Duty.
Yeah. Well, did you not even like the zombies in Call of Duty?
No.
Really?
Well, I'm in the same boat. I
like to play it. I like to play it just to have some fun, but after the 5th round, it just gets boring.
Yeah.
I play for the achievements. Once I finish all the achievements, I never play them again. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, but see, that's the problem. If you're playing for the achievements, it feels like
it's still fun. It's not always a grind. It's just like, now, why do I have a point to play it?
Well, that shouldn't be like. Then that's a problem with the game mechanics.
Well, I mean, it's not that I don't enjoy the maps. Like, Derice was a fan favorite from everybody. That was awesome in World of War. And then what was the last one in Black Ops?
Space one.
The Moon. That one was awesome. I actually have played that after I got all the achievements. That one was really fun. And to get all the achievements, you had to play for 4 hours straight. It was a pain in the ass to get it, but
Yeah, that's really
It was
Well,
worth
the
it.
problem I have with those games is once you play a certain map, like there's a lot of different things you can do in it, but the core gameplay is the same, and it just gets very. I
You
don't
just
care.
find a strategy that's gonna hold you out
Yeah.
for the longest, and every time
See
you
how
play
high
it,
you
you're
can
gonna
get.
do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not fun seeing how high you can get.
How to
You're
you?
just gonna
To
hold
me?
out in the same place until
Yeah.
you all die, and it's gonna be the same thing every time,
Yeah.
basically.
So I don't. Yeah, for me, it's not very not as fun. Now, a zombie game that I think works brilliantly, that I absolutely love, and it's a shitty alpha mod. It's fucking. There's hackers in it. It fucking glitches to hell. You have to reload the game all the time. But I absolutely love this game. Like this is one of my favorite games I've played in a long time. Is DayZ. DayZ is just. I can't stress this enough. It's fucking amazing. It's actually scary because for those who may not have played DayZ, how it's built, it's a mod for a military simulator called Arma 2. But so you have like these realistic game mechanics in there. They simulate realistic bullet physics and they have like a life gauge. So you actually have to survive. You have to eat food. You have to drink water. You have to make sure your body temperature stays above a certain level. And the big thing is if you die, you lose everything. It's not like all these other fucking games where you respawn with all your gear or you respawn right next to your body. If you die, you're not gonna everything you worked for, which could be over the course of 1 or 2 hours, or it could have been over the course of a month. It's gone. It's gone forever. I mean, you could theoretically you can get it back, but it's very difficult. So you're actually scared. Your heart is pumping when you hear shots near you, when there's zombies that could possibly kill you. It's one of the few multiplayer games I've played where I'm actually like there'll be points where I'm nervous because I'm worried about the repercussions. There's not many games that can do that, and DayZ is one of them. That game is just fucking amazing. I don't know. What are your opinions on the game? Random.
It's the same. I love it. No matter how many times I've died, he always
take a little break. You always take a little break. You're like,
fuck. If you're like me and you have a character for a couple days, so you have,
you're all decked out in gear,
30
food.
hours. You have everything. You know, you've killed a couple people. You feel like you're in your shit and you don't want to die. And when that happens, you want to take a break. Well, at least I do because I just fuck.
You lost everything.
Like, all that's gone. Now I have to try and get it back. If I don't, I have to go through all the. You don't have to go through all it again. Sometimes you get lucky, but you feel like it's not.
Subi's saying there's no when, so why continue playing?
No, he was talking. He was talking about zombies when he said that earlier. But I guess I guess it refers to this as well.
Yeah, because there is no end game. There is no point. Basically, once you get the best gear, it's not like you can go.
It's player killing time.
You can't,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't like raid some enemy base or anything like that. It's not like an MMORPG where you get all your gear and you level up. Yeah, and there's end game. There is no end game. Basically what you do is you survive, you get gear. That's it. That's all you do. You kill things.
Just the amount of craziness that can happen in either of those, it's never the same. Never going to be the same. No matter how many times you go to the same place. Never going to be the same.
The situations that arise, like one of my favorite examples that just happened recently, like we're in the middle of this town, there's nobody around us, we're trying to repair this car so we can drive, and then I don't think we get it working, and then we all pile up in this SUV and we start to drive, and somebody fires on us, and we're like, oh shit, we got to get the fuck out of here, and everybody spreads out, and we all get on these high positions, we're watching down, we're trying to figure out where the shots came from. And we're screaming to each other like, "Who the fuck shot? What's going on?" And then somebody stole our SUV and drove away. And we're sitting there shooting it, and we blow that bitch up in the middle of the street. The guy was trying to avoid our bullets. He rams into a tree. He's trying to escape, and I keep shooting it, and the damn thing blows up.
Nobody steals our car. We take it out. We can't have it.
Nobody can.
Exactly.
But the things that happen in that game are so intense compared to anything else I've played. It's hard to put into words. It's really, you have to play it because it's one of the few games where your life matters, it's not just your life, but the gear that you have matter. Because if you lose it, it's over. It's kind of like playing hardcore Diablo 3, I guess, to an extent. But you do not want to die. So, Cambo, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, I still haven't gotten it. I'm gonna buy it as soon as I can. But I really, really think it looks interesting. It looks really, really fun. I've seen a couple of gameplays of it, and I cannot wait to fucking play it.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you're a fan of like sandbox style games, I think this is probably one of the better sandbox games I've played in a long time. And I've actually gotten kind of.
Hey, Sam, come on.
What's up with that? Is that a lab?
Oh my god, dude! I literally just saw your dog that's black go from your side to Cambo. It crossed over the. What the? That was weird. You guys can't see it, but like I have the 3 Skypes, so it's like Bernie, Random, and Cambo, and his dog went in the. I know you guys saw it, and then all of a sudden it pops up on Cambo's screen, and like Bernie's dog's like ass is sticking out, and its head is in Cambo's screen. It's like, I was like, whoa. Okay, sorry.
So yeah, no, that's a game that I'm really looking forward to. Is DayZ? I think it's I'm not looking forward to, but it's a game that I'm having a lot of fun. I am looking forward to the standalone because that the one problem I have with that game, or there's a couple problems. Hackers absolutely ruined that game, and then it's you can tell it's a mod. It's glitched. You can't like there's situations where you'll like stare at barbed wire and your entire screen is filled with artifacts and you can't do anything and you have to reload your game. Sometimes I'll fall through walls. You'll break your legs opening a door. It's really really glitchy. But
with all those flaws, best game.
The truth of the matter, guys, Subi says maybe GH and Cambo are gay lovers and they share a house. The truth is yes. What normally happens is Cambo is back on my elliptical and he's running on that, and I record it naked. Yes, so that's how this works. It's the same dog. So
please sit down.
God
have mercy on my soul.
So I mean, those are my thoughts on DayZ. Then War Z? There's been some gameplay for that game. I'm just curious, I think Stabby, you put up some video gameplay of that, or maybe it was iOS. What are your thoughts on War Z so far? Because there's been a lot of people, like War Z came out, it's the same game. It's a sandbox MMO, or not MMO, but it's I guess it is kind of an MMO, but a sandbox MMO zombie survival game. And a lot of people are saying, hey, you just copied DayZ, you're cashing in on this, it's a ripoff. What are your thoughts after seeing the gameplay?
Well, didn't they start making it before Rocket even?
You know what? I'm hearing bits. I've heard bits and pieces from different people. I've heard that they've been working on it for a while. And I'm also hearing now that rumors are that they were working on just a general game engine for a long time, and then they saw DayZ, and they changed. They
capitalized on it.
It's not that they were working on an actual survival zombie game. It's just that might have been what they're saying. There's been a lot of evidence that people have been throwing out that maybe they're not telling the truth about that. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I don't care.
I don't care. Regardless, exactly. If it's a great game, it's a great game.
Yeah, if it plays like DayZ is great. If we can get rid of all those little crappy things that sometimes suck, then okay, good. War Z, good for you. Everything fine. But if it's gonna how can I say it? If it's gonna try and take what DayZ has done and then change it so much that it doesn't feel like DayZ, like how DayZ did, how people basically looked at that game and said, yes, I want to play that. That looks amazing. If they change the fact that if it doesn't have that same appeal because of whatever they change, if it changes, I don't want to say if it changes at all, but if it changes
it's that survival aspect. It's the interaction with other players. If you don't get that same element, it's not going to be fun. Because like Left 4 Dead is a survival zombie game, but it certainly doesn't feel anywhere near as close as DayZ. I like Left 4 Dead, but it definitely doesn't feel like DayZ. DayZ is just a completely.
I think the attraction with DayZ is that it's very realistic. I mean, obviously, when you open up a gate, your legs don't actually break.
Yeah.
But like, it seems like, when you look at a gun on the ground, it doesn't glow. I'm not knocking it. It's just, it takes kind of away from the realism. Like, if I looked at an M16 on the ground, it's not going to glow at me and say, hey, pick me up. But I'll get both. Whichever one just is better to play in the end, be the one I spend most of my time on.
I will say one of the things and I know it's alpha, so I'm not going to dog it too much, but I wasn't really super crazy with what I've seen with War Z so far. It looks like a much more polished version of DayZ. It looks like it was more designed for this type of gameplay. But some of the things that I've noticed, when you shoot zombies, they like I know it's alpha, but when he was doing headshots on zombies, they just like explode, like they like flop around all over the place. And that was kind of weird. Like that, anything that kind of takes me out of the element, I'm not super crazy about. Yeah. And that was one of the things I noticed. And the other thing is the amount of zombies, and maybe that's because they're just demoing the overall gameplay. It just didn't. We lost your screen, by the way.
Yeah,
Stabby.
No, I know, I'm back. I think.
Oh,
that's weird.
But
driver update.
The number of zombies in the demo were like 2 or 3. If that.
That's because they edited that. The devs went back and said, "Hey, you know."
Well, they say I heard that they just removed the AI from the zombies.
Like, I mean, yeah, but they're also they're not going to be 2 zombies in a whole map. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna.
You guys are talking about the one in like by the garage, right? That one.
Well, there's two sets of videos. There's the first one where you're by the garage and there's like 2 zombies. That's the other thing that kind of bothered me is the first bit of gameplay that they showed off was the same scene where they were showing all those screenshots. I would have liked to have seen something different for their first, like, don't show off the same thing that you've been showing off in screenshots. They did change it up a little bit with a more recent gameplay, but in that one they had, I think, maybe 3 zombies at the most. I think Stabby was saying maybe they didn't want to showcase all the different zombies.
They want to shock you with how many zombies are going to be or something.
It'd be nice, because... I mean, if you want to make me believe that this game has truly been a zombie survival game in production for this long, I'd like to see those kind of elements. Because I know these zombies are slow. They don't run like they do in DayZ. So the only way they're going to be, at least in my opinion, a real threat is
they hit hard.
In hordes. If they're in hordes.
In hordes, yeah. Large, like Dead Rising hordes. Like huge numbers.
Jesus Christ, man. Those hordes are like 50,000 zombies in like
that's how you die.
Convenience store.
Yeah, I know.
It's like in The Walking Dead when Rick is in Atlanta. He finally turns into
yeah.
And there's like 500 zombies right there, and he realizes that he's fucked.
Yeah, that's what, honestly, if you want to make slow walking zombies in like War Z, I think that's what you need to do. That's how you have to approach it. Is you have to have hordes and hordes of zombies, and I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off with a persistent online MMO. I think one of their
200 people.
It's supposed to be 200 people, and the island's supposed to be 400 kilometers squared, I believe. I mean, I imagine they do.
There's different islands. The Colorado island, because they're very, very weird with their information. Like, originally they said, hey, they said, hey, our map is going to be bigger than DayZ. That's what they flat out said that in the beginning. And then they're like, oh, well, we meant another map. The map that they're showcasing, Colorado, codename Colorado, is very, very small. It's only like... I mean, they showed a screenshot. It looked beautiful, but it was just like, that's it. That's all. That's the map. Like that looks like Chernarus. Like that is, or not Chernarus, but Cherno and Electro put together, and you have the map. But they said they're gonna have other maps, which obviously they're gonna need, because if you put 200 people on that, it's gonna be like every 5 steps you're gonna see somebody. Because like in DayZ, you know, Random and I we took advantage of a server glitching out and there was no loot spawning, and we were like, well, who the fuck's gonna be up here? You know, there's only 5 other people on the server, and we're walking through, and I mean, halfway up the map, we were like running through the woods, you know, staying in cover and shit, and then we switched off. We were like, you know, we haven't seen anybody in forever. We can run through the field.
There's no loot spawning at all, so we're figured, why would anybody stay if there's no loot?
Yeah.
And so we're running through a field, and he goes, hey, Stab, stop. Look at my face. And as he says it, I see a 50 cal round just hit him in the chest and blood splatter everywhere. My legs break, and I'm still running around. Like, I got the broken legs, and I'm just booking it. And then all of a sudden, my character just stops and falls to the ground and starts crawling, and I abort. Because I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I was a bitch when I started playing that game. So I aborted, and Random was just screaming at the top of his lungs, oh my god, he's like fucking serpentining. There's one tree in this field.
In an open field.
There's just one tree, and we passed it like forever ago. And he's just like serpentining, trying to get behind a tree so he can log out there. I log back in, and I'm no longer bleeding. I have full blood, but my leg is... And my leg's not broken. I'm like, what the fuck? So they're like... If the map is that small, you're not going to have that instance where, you know, you have to actually be on the lookout. I mean, like, you're going to be like, oh, well, you know, it's going to be a guy there.
That's
Instead of there could be a guy there, but there's probably not. and then when there turns out to be, your heart rate goes to like 120 beats per minute. So,
Daisy, you got to be thinking, who the hell is looking at me right now? Trying to get this item.
It's really hard to survive for long periods of time in that game because you can be in areas where you think nobody's there. Me and Nasty were playing the game a little while ago, and there was nobody there. Or I would think like we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no loot that's going to spawn there, and then all of a sudden somebody shoots me in the leg, and I fall over. My leg's broken, and Nasty's taking fire. The nice thing is I had a thermal. Was it an L885 or whatever it's called? So I could see the son of a bitch crawling through the woods above me, and I was able to kill him. But like people like you sometimes even in the most what you think is a safe area, people will attack you. So that's why you always have to be on your toes. So I mean, War Z, I guess I'm kind of looking forward to it. I really have to see a lot more from that game though. I wasn't super excited with what I've seen from the gameplay just because it doesn't seem to show a whole lot. It's very short. And for me to think it's a good, or I don't know, maybe they can find ways to fix it.
This is like 2013, what, fall?
No, I think it's supposed to come out in the fall.
Well, hang on, because they were like, yo, we're gonna release this game this fall, and then like that's like they're like set dead on fall, and then a couple weeks ago on Facebook they were like, would you guys pay for an alpha? Like that was their question. It was like, whoa, you guys, and then they came out and said it's not very far away, guys. So is it alpha that we're getting, or is it beta that we're getting? Because
the direction of this game, from what I've heard so far, I don't know. It's kind of flip flopping. That's why it's hard for me to believe what they said that because I know originally they said they had planned on doing this for a while. I know they said it was going to be like a normal traditional MMO with zombies, but after hearing there's a long Reddit post talking about how they approached everything. Subi says, could you guys survive the real zombie apocalypse? I'll bring that up. If a zombie apocalypse hit us now...
We have a plan.
Hold on. Let me hear what... Because Cambo, I'm sure, has got this stuff. I mean, the Naked Man has
fucking
to have
Viking helmet. Like, this dude's...
So Cambo...
he must have access...
Cambo, you're on the news, and officially it says the zombie apocalypse has started, and there's zombies nomming at your front door. What do you do to survive?
I bring a knife.
A knife?
He's got a Bowie knife, like a huge ass knife. I'm sure. Not a butter knife.
10-foot knife.
I'm just gonna hide out in the woods. I could build a shelter and make a fucking fire.
He lives in Norway.
In the woods.
That is the woods.
Please, you don't just skirt this. You don't just go, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to the woods. Isn't okay. What's the normal, like, during the winter for you guys? What's the temperature normally?
Well, it depends. But last winter, I think the lowest was minus 35.
Okay, yeah. So your naked ass is going to run into the woods with a knife, and you're going to survive. Can you mind going into a little bit more detail?
Well,
he's going to kill an elk and skin it. And, like, just...
If this shit happened in the winter, I probably would find a fucking cabin somewhere.
Probably. I'm gonna put this out there. If I'm ever with Cambo, if I'm with Cambo, if I just happen to be in Norway and I see Cambo, and then there's also a zombie apocalypse, whatever he does, I'm gonna do the opposite. So that's how that's gonna go down. So that's your plan. You'd find a knife. You might go in the woods.
What about your kid and your wife?
Oh, I'll bring them with me.
Just you stay here, honey. I'll be back.
Irrational. Like,
I'm just gonna go get some cigarettes. I'll be back soon, honey.
It's a good strategy because it could slow them down.
Oh my god.
Well, it's like, what was it? The scene Walking Dead. What's his face?
Otis and Shane.
Yeah, when Shane fucking caps that dude.
Man, I got fucking Otis in DayZ. Bastards.
Who did that?
Some random guy. Like that. This is like when you first learn not to trust anybody. Not to get off the subject of, we'll come back to what Random's gonna do, because I'm sure he's got some fucking... I've already thought of what I was gonna do. Like, I was playing and I was like, I know exactly what I'm gonna do when it happens. But so I see this horde of zombies, and I run into a building. What are you doing?
Max said Cambo's safe. Zombies eat brains.
Oh. But Subi says he'll Otis anyone, including the elderly. I don't think you really need to Otis them. I think they're just gonna do it on their own. But like I was being chased by zombies, and I ran into this house, and then this guy was also being chased by zombies, and he saw me, and he ran towards me, and he brought the zombies to me, and I said, "Hey, I'll help you out," and I started I let him pass. He ended up going behind me in the house, and I was like, "All right, I'll cover you." And since he had a gun, I figured, better him than me, or better me than him, since I don't have anything. And so I start hacking these zombies down the doorway, and then he shoots me in the kneecap, breaking my leg, but stays far enough away to where I can't hit him, and just looks at me and runs out the back door and lets me die. And it effectively got away from the zombies, for all I know.
It's a good plan.
So I was like, yeah, I'm never helping anybody ever again. So now, like, I've snuck up on people in the grocery store. I've said, hey, I'm friendly, and then like I'll walk up behind him and shoot him with a 50 cal. Like Weedy was standing next to a guy, and this guy was helping Weedy out, and I walked up to him, and I walked up behind him, killed him, and took his backpack and ran away.
Telling him, "This is my friend coming up. Don't shoot him."
Yeah, exactly.
He comes up and shoots him in the face.
It's an interesting dynamic because you can kind of troll, but at the same time, like if the zombie apocalypse happened, the DayZ kind of parallels shit that would happen in real life. Like people would have no mercy; they'd be ruthless. If you had like food or something and they wanted it, they'd shoot you, they'd take it, and they'd run away. So I mean, some of that stuff is trolling, and some of it is. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a zombie apocalypse, that shit would happen.
You make a good point, because like I didn't think about, in the beginning I'd see a lot of people like forming up, be like, hey, let's help each other out, and then after supplies get a little scarce and Campbell runs out of elk meat,
shit gets real.
Then that's when DayZ starts. That is when DayZ starts.
The reason Campbell would survive early in the beginning is the sex appeal, but
no, that would bring more zombies to him. He'd be the bait, if anything.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll be right back. Go. Yeah. This story. I'm doing the opposite of Cambo. Brandon, what would you do to survive the zombie apocalypse?
In the A team, there's always been the running joke. If there was a zombie apocalypse, we would head up to Night Prowler's house in Canada because he's got a storage full of guns. Basically.
He's got a small armory, to say the least.
Yeah.
Very small
armory. So we're
armory.
like, okay, if shit goes down, we'll meet you at your house. is what the joke has been. But I think if it actually were to happen, there wouldn't be. Roads would not be able to, you couldn't get on cars. You wouldn't be able to get out of big cities or anything. It would have to be hold out until some sort of coast is clear, and then try and head out into the woods. That's pretty much it. I don't think, because just trying to head straight up, get out of the town, get out of the city or whatever.
I don't think it would happen.
You would have to wait it out. But you'd have to think. You can't. It's not like you're gonna be able to go into a gun store and get a gun.
Yeah, you can't shoot you unless you already own a gun. You're not getting your hands on a gun after that.
Exactly. You're not gonna get You're not gonna be able to find a gun. Supermarkets are gonna be closed. There's not gonna be. If zombies were out in the street, there would not be these sort of riot type. Major stealing of stores, right? And if anything, it'd be hoard what you have. Don't open the door ever until shit dies down a bit, I think.
I wouldn't think it would die down. Well, what type of zombies are we talking? These are zombies.
I'm thinking Walking Dead zombies.
Walking Dead zombies.
Yeah, they live for a long time.
Yeah, they would eventually move on, though, once they saw there's nothing around. Because, like in the beginning of The Walking Dead, when he's heading into town, no cars going into town. Packed highway getting out of town. I think if you tried to just hang on a bit until you can see, zombies are kind of moving away, or you can see that there's a clear way to get out of the town.
I'd stay in
town. I don't think I would.
You would stay in town?
Yeah.
I would stay.
I mean, I wouldn't go to Atlanta. Like, that's fucking stupid. But I mean,
you live in Austin? Or
I live in Houston, which is even bigger than Atlanta. But I live outside of Houston, so I don't technically live in the skyscraper.
If you live in sort of like a suburb type place or something. You just chill in your house, lock every door, bar everything, and I don't think I'll be trying to get out.
I'd be going to my school, my old high school.
You can actually set up.
No, I wouldn't go to high school.
My high school's huge.
Knowing that
that's
everyone
the problem.
Else is do the same thing.
But the way it's built is it's very weird how it's built. It's very sectioned off. So like, while it's
Did
huge, you
go to
can
school
make
in a
it
correctional
small.
Facility?
High
Yes,
school
I lived in.
Oh,
I had a
God.
straight jacket.
This is the worst anime ever. Do you know what he's talking about, Cambo? High School of the Dead?
Oh my god, is that the like the
Yeah.
supersonic bullet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the
that's
most
film
retarded
fan
thing I've ever
service.
seen.
Anyways.
Topic of zombie, talk about it. Maybe show a clip later on in the
Yeah,
video.
maybe not. Probably not. That thing's horrible.
Taze knows where I live because Taze actually used to live
Here's
here.
the thing: if I hear on the news that there's like a zombie outbreak in like China or like another country, and I've got a couple days, my plan is to hit an island. I live on the coast, or I don't live on the coast, but I live close enough to the coast. I'm gonna hit an island.
Yeah, if that were to happen, yeah. But
If it's like
if it's
on-
instant,
if it's instant, like I wake up and they're at my fucking door, then yeah, okay, maybe I'd go to my the problem with something like a high school is there's so many entrances in. Like you might fortify one entrance, but they might be coming in from another one. So and if you don't have the means of killing them, then you're fucked. Then you just lock yourself in. You're screwed.
what's that? I don't remember the guy with his son in the beginning of Walking Dead. I don't remember his name.
Carl? No, that's
Carl?
Carl's not. Carl's the
Carl?
guy.
Rick?
Rick and Carl.
No.
I know who you're talking about.
The guy that Rick meets, the black dude. I don't remember his name.
Wow, why's it gotta be
Oh,
black?
Morgan. I think his name's
Yes,
Morgan.
when they're in the house and all the windows are sealed off, everything's turned off, right?
Zombies are not
And
coming
they're
in.
just hiding out there until stuff dies down, and they're still able to get out, just like that. That's what I would do.
Max says chance to bang high
Yeah.
school girl is greater than being eaten by zombies. Exactly.
Mac has his priorities in order.
Well, like I was figuring like hey, I feel like I feel like I've played like that guy that joke that running along joke is like, oh, I'm like 10th prestige, I can run the military. Like I feel like I've played enough zombie survival, watched enough zombie survival shit that I could lead a small army of people. Like I honestly feel like, hey, guys, shut the fuck up.
You'd be the first person to die. You'd be like, hey
Hell
guys,
no.
I'm going to high school. And me and Random would be fucking. And then
I know how to
Campbell
sneak
would
around
be
zombies.
behind the
They
high
don't have
school
good
naked
eyesight.
in his fucking is at the top of the tree. Hey, Stab, you guys would be dead. You
No,
guys.
I live like 2 minutes from my high school by foot. Like
Again, but I need to point out when you get to the high school, how are you going to fortify it?
Obviously you haven't been to my high school. There's a shitload of stuff to fortify.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot your high school was a big deal.
Like I'm just saying, like there's a shitload of stuff to fortify.
So first off, yeah, there is a shit. So you need to somehow get into your high school, fortify it very quickly. When in your genius plan have you procured supplies?
Okay, you
You can't say genius plan when he's come up with it. Come on.
okay. It's hard to explain. Like everything in my town
Sure it is.
is very, very, very close together. So it's not like I have to go far
So
for
what
something.
you're telling me is there's a lot of people close together that have just turned to zombies.
Who says they're all turning to zombies? I'm leading those
zombies.
motherfuckers.
You're leading. So we've established that Stabby's plan is going to become.
There's no way they'd let you be the leader.
Oh
See,
my
you're
god.
kidding me?
I have played
I have
like
to
300 hours of Daisy. I know.
He's going to come out and lead the masses to the high school. And
Well,
get
no, I'm not
everything.
gonna lead like the entire town to high school. Fuck them. Like, I've got friends with guns. That's all I need to know, and that's how I'm getting there. So
Do they live close to your high school?
they live in my high school.
I feel like your friends
Fuck's
with
sake.
guns would just shoot you, and then
Why would my friends shoot me? That's kind of fucked up.
because they need to survive.
Cambo's got like a fucking rave going on.
He's got his own built-in strobe light.
I was telling them earlier, you need flashing lights and freaking glow sticks.
So we've learned about Stabby or Cambo's is run into the woods and die.
Mine is
Hey,
stay
I
in and
won't-
Okay,
die.
okay, Bernie, what would you do? What would you do? Yeah, I mean, you
Well,
said you
let's
said you would
hear
go to
you
an
out.
island, and then if they were at your
Yeah.
door, but you never really went into what you
If
would
they
do.
were at my door, there is an apartment complex that I used to live at.
Oh, but there's a bunch of people in an apartment complex.
That's fine.
They're all
Because
just
there's a specific there's a floor if I can get to it. That
Okay, so you know about your apartment complex, but you don't know about my school, so you can't like.
Because here's the thing about
I
my
know about his apartment complex.
There's one door into my apartment that I'm thinking about going to. Your high school has to have a shitload of doors that you have to close
Barricade
and barricade.
No, but like you don't like. Okay, so my high school's main hallway is a quarter mile long. Like that's No joke.
That's a long fucking distance to try to survive. Even
Hang on.
Crazy asses.
You wouldn't be able to get in a car or anything. Maybe a bike or.
But
I don't even think a bike.
It's built in a way that like, if you just cut off one, like you don't have to like barricade. Like if you barricaded like at the very end of the hallway, and then you don't have to worry about the other shit if you're not going over there. Why would I have to barricade everything over there if I'm never going back into that section? You know what I'm saying?
Nobody
Like,
knows what you
so
say.
say okay, so you're in a long rectangle.
I gotta say 1 second, Mac. The War Z. He's saying that War Z is based off of World War Z. I haven't heard anything. I read the book. It's a pretty good book, but I haven't heard anything because World War Z is like the entire world goes to shit, but then it's after that. That's not a spoiler because they talk. It's the first page of the book. They survive the zombie apocalypse, and it's the
aftermath.
The aftermath. They interview a bunch of different people over the world, like China, America, everybody, and they give their opinions on what happened and how they survived the zombie apocalypse. They're actually trying to make a movie. I think Brad Pitt has a production company doing it, but they've been having a lot of issues with it.
They should get Justin Bieber as zombie victim #1, please.
Hey, you leave the beats.
I mean, if you like zombie stories, it's not too bad. I thought it was pretty good, but yeah, I don't know if War Z is based off that because it might be a similar name. Oh yeah, I mean they're definitely similar titles, yeah. So it could be related, but let's go back to how Stabby's going to kill himself.
Okay.
Continue.
So you got this long rectangle, right? So
you have a long. So is it two quarter miles on each side?
No, it's just a long rectangle. So it's a quarter mile one way, a quarter mile the other. But it's one hallway. So
yeah. So how are you barricading?
So you block the entrance because it goes quarter mile and then it like sections off into like other. What? Okay, it doesn't look like this, but the thing, how like the towers in a castle.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what it becomes on one side.
So your hallway becomes a giant tower in a castle.
That's just the effect of what I'm trying to draw. But like you live in the tower and you block off the hallway.
Tower, if you ever played those video games and like Fallout and where you have the crazy hermit that survives the zombie apocalypse or whatever. That's Stabby because he's living in the tower in the high school. That's how Stabby's gonna.
Okay, guys. I go to Hogwarts. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a good plan.
So yeah,
Muggles will die while you live.
I'll just run through a platform. The zombies aren't unless the zombies will somehow become wizards and walk through. They're never gonna get to me.
I would find
get a snowplow or something like that.
So your bright idea is to go in a building with one entrance, one exit. Mine.
The location of where that building is, it's across the way from a large shopping center, well, a huge shopping center.
Oh, so there's stuff in the nearby vicinity. Isn't that similar to what I said?
But
like you're like no, you can't do that. What about when you need food? What about when you need,
I never said it.
Well, you raid the cafeteria until you die of starvation.
Exactly, random.
Just do like Bear Grylls and drink your own piss.
There you go.
Survive.
I would head up to the woods, meet up with Cambo. Hopefully he wore some fucking pants.
And just
eat an elk. And then come back.
I had to pick one dude to try to survive with. It'd be random. Cambo's fucking run to the woods when it's negative 30 degrees and Stabby's whole
section off a building. How was that a big that's exactly what you're doing, just on a smaller scale.
How'd you get out of that building though?
You jump off.
What are you talking about?
Like how long I'm talking Stabby, this is a long haul. Help ain't coming, dude.
Okay, but at the end of the hall it becomes like another section of the map.
Not that kind of hall.
What?
A hall, like a long time.
Long time.
Oh. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought he meant like the hall. Like I was like, yeah, and at the end, okay. So like I'm in the nearby vicinity of this. Obviously, you're gonna have to move on. I'm never gonna stay there forever. Like
this. Mac summed it up pretty well. Stabby's idea is basically live in a tower and eat cheerleaders. So
there you go.
Stabby's gonna be the crazy cannibal.
Oh, that's not what he meant by eat cheerleaders, bro.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so
Don't pretend you have a shot at cheerleaders, Stabby.
Wow. Okay, I'm not. It's because I'm not wearing the helmet, is it?
Well,
Yes.
because he's also shirtless, so he's authority. So what? Okay, we've covered. God, that's
I'll be
an
back.
image. It's an image I'm not getting out of my head.
For one podcast.
So what's that? Did we start at 7:30?
Uh-huh.
I think it's been an hour. I think we've been doing this for
we've
about.
definitely been doing this for a while.
So I think that's a good point in wrapping it up. We've established that Cam
That these two are gonna die.
Well, no. We've learned a lot of things. We've learned that Cambo is now the new sex symbol for Forum.
We need him on a poster somewhere.
We need him gyrating on some pole somewhere. I don't know what that is. I've learned that if I wanted to survive the zombie apocalypse, I'm going to partner up with random and not.
You guys live on the East and West Coast. Like, come on now. You think you're going to make it all the way to him?
I don't care.
Okay. So meeting up with random on the West Coast or having him come to the East Coast is much better than my far-fetched idea of going to my school where I know the layout. I know where tons of shit is.
You're gonna die. You're just gonna hey guys, I know the layout, so I'm gonna die over there. And I'm like, okay. So
I mean, it's in the general vicinity of all this stuff. Like, I mean, it's just it makes sense.
Paper? What are you gonna make a fucking paper mache?
Maybe.
We need to start stocking up on carrier pigeons. Is what we need, Bernie.
Yeah. So
You
I
will
think
be dead. I will survive in the woods. Bottom line is, I win.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Yeah, he's like a bear.
yeah, he's gonna be the next Bigfoot. That'll
Watch
be
like
the
all of us dying, Cam. But yeah, he's the only one to survive.
That would be the biggest troll of them all.
He's just like, hey guys, should have went to the woods.
We all die, and Campbell's the only one in the woods with his fucking butcher knife, fucking butt ass naked.
His butter knife.
But he lives. He lives out of all of it with his Viking hat.
He's just.
All right. Well, I think unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about,
I'm telling you, my plan is solid. I've thought this through.
Buy Borderlands 2.
Buy Borderlands 2. Buy DayZ at some point in time. I would suggest, if those that may not know, they're doing the same thing as Minecraft. They're releasing DayZ as an alpha, then a beta, and then a final standalone. So I would recommend, if you're a big fan of zombies, this is probably the best zombie game I've played in a long time. So buy DayZ.
Don't trust Abby when the zombies come.
And when the zombie apocalypse comes,
I really hope it comes. Oh my god, I hope it comes. Because when it's over and you two are dead, I will be finding your body and teabagging the shit out of it. And I will be like, yes. And then I will go to not Germany. I don't know why I said Germany. Norway and meet up with Cambo in the woods. That sounded gay.
This is how I imagine it. In the zombie, you're playing a video game, the zombie apocalypse, and you have two choices. You can either follow Stabby to the high school or Cambo to the woods. I'm following Cambo to the woods over Stabby, so that's how that shit's going.
Okay, hang on. We gotta wait for Wiggy to weigh in because he said, "Okay, seriously."
Wiggy? Say something. Go ahead and wrap up the
What the f is on your head, son? That's a hat. It's a nice little hat.
It's a beacon.
What is that?
Zombies. It's one of those damn hats.
It's my tailgating hat.
God.
I wear this all the time.
Like one of those. What is it? Those arm flailing fucking.
It's my tailgating hat, so I wear it when I go to the tailgating games.
I just this, yeah. You wear that hat, and then they'll find your body. All right. Well, Cambo, appreciate you coming on. I know you've had a lot of fun bringing the sex.
I always have fun with you guys.
He's bringing sexy back.
Well, I appreciate it, guys, and like always, take it easy.